everybody, it's Kelly and I'm back with another process video. This one is a cheeky studio process. So I'm going to start this by using these 3 photos of my granddaughter, and 2 of them have her older brother, her oldest brother. And I'm going to mount them on that bright green cardstock, bright green pattern paper, which is Doodlebug's Petite Prints. It's the citrus gingham linen paper. There's a lot of green in that very bright blanket that she's laying on, which is super cute. And so I thought that would be a great way to kind of highlight, brighten things up and highlight her. So I love this blue paper. It works perfectly with that blanket, and it was the only paper I had that color in my stash, or even anything close to it, that bright blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that paper, and I'm not quite sure how and where yet, because what I need to do first is figure out, I want to use this yellow paper as kind of a border around the green, and that yellow paper is from Bella Boulevard. It's the We're Expecting collection. It's a coming soon paper. This is old. So what I decided to do is I decided to do 1 ruler's width on each side of that green paper. And then I was kind of waiting to see where that would land, because that will help me decide. I want some of the blue paper to, I want you to see that at the bottom, because it'll help focus you more towards the pictures, because it's a darker color compared to the other 2. The other 2 are so very bright compared to those. So now I'm just getting this cluster on, and what I've done here is I've taken an older piece of basil cardstock that's actually even a little bit sun faded. I used to keep my paper like right next to a window. I don't do that anymore. Don't do that if you do, because even if it's not like directly right next to it, it can sun fade. So and it's on the edges. You can kind of see it on the edges. So what I'm doing is I'm just gluing that, and I do keep the cardstock because I do stuff like this with it. I'm gluing the blue paper, that Doodlebug Petite Prints in blue jean dot stripe, right to the cardstock, and then I'm gluing that photo cluster to it. And now I'm thinking about using a tab here. These came from the Cheeky Studio July 2018 kit, and they're by American Crafts. They're the memory planner tabs. So I found one that was in the bright yellow. There was also a bright green one that didn't say anything, and that bright yellow one says remember. So now I have also pulled out some of the ephemera from Cheeky Studio, and this is the Family First ephemera. So you can get that separately, and I will I'll link that in the description. And I don't remember, I think I did this, but I showed you a grandmother, and she has very gray hair, and I'm a grandmother, but my hair is far from gray. Even my natural color is far from gray at the moment. So that made me laugh. So haha, Tuesday, not all grandmothers have gray hair yet. So, and those of us who will get it eventually, probably for a while, will color it. Anyway, so I'm grabbing that Family First ephemera, and I have a baby there, and my granddaughter does not have blonde hair, but it was the baby that I had left in the pack. I've used quite a bit of this already, and you know, it's fine with me that, you know, it's not her. And then I like these hearts, and I found the ones in like the turquoisey blue and that kind of red pink color, neither of which really actually, well, the turquoisey blue appears in the blanket, but the kind of pinky red doesn't. But there's so many colors in there that I think it doesn't matter, and I like the contrast. I was thinking, you saw me just before pick up, I have the Wildflowers, Cheeky Studio Wildflowers 3 set up there on the top right, and some of those colors are great. Like there's a coral flower right there, and there's yellow flowers, and I was thinking about maybe mixing it with the hearts, but I didn't love how the larger flowers worked with those hearts, so I pulled those back. And I'm playing around with that cluster on the bottom right quite a bit, way more than is absolutely necessary, but that's what happens sometimes, right? Alright, so now I am thinking about what kinds of letters I can use to do this title, and this was a little bit ago, and I just realized I didn't get the dates or journaling done on these as I'm talking to you. I'm just going to journal something cute about how even though she's so chunky right now, and I call her my little Chunka Munka sometimes, or baby Chunka Munka. Even though she's so chunky right now, that once she walks, we know it'll all disappear. And she's actually crawling quite a bit now. It took her a while. She liked to just roll everywhere, but she's really started to crawl, especially army crawl. And she has lost some of those chunky thighs and chunky tummy already. So right now I am thinking about putting the word baby down there. So it'd be Chunka Munka baby. And I'm going to have to MacGyver a Q into an A there because I don't have any more A's left. I'm not loving, though, how you can see the different papers behind those letters in different spots. I prefer, if there's an opening, I prefer it to be all one color behind it. So that's just a personal thing. I don't always do it, but I do it more often than not. So it's bothering me, but I don't have room across the top to do it with this font. And this font, by the way, is a chipboard alpha from American Crafts. It's a Thicker's alpha called Iguana. It's pretty old. Okay, so then what I'm doing here is I'm just adding in some foam tape behind the baby because, you know, this is a layout all about a baby, so I think that's really important here. Then I'm going to work on that cluster up there, and I'll put some foam tape behind that heart as well. So I want to pop up one heart in one thing in each of those clusters. All right, so I'm just kind of playing to make this sure that this is even. All right, so now I'm thinking maybe I want to do another heart up there, so I have a heart in 3 spots. It feels like it's better balanced. I was thinking I do like the stars because they're yellow, but I don't love to mix hearts and stars, honestly. Again, that's just a personal thing for me. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting some foam tape behind that that blue heart or turquoise colored heart there. And that can go on top. So then I'm still trying to find where to put the baby, and I realize, oh, I could actually put it, now that I have that heart up there, I could put the word baby up with that heart, and now that makes a little bit more sense. I thought about it before, but I didn't think it would look very good just floating up above the Chunka Munka. I could have probably done it in another font and that would have worked, but like if I'd done it in a yellow font or something, I think that might have worked. And I do mix fonts. I just didn't feel like it on this day. I think I needed to leave or go do something, and so I wanted to get this layout done. The Hallmark movie for Saturday night was probably starting because I did this on a Saturday night. I scrapbooked a lot this day, which was really fun. All right, so now I'm still thinking about those flowers, and I want a little bit of yellow, and I see these like longer, more vertical floral clusters, and I really like the way those looks, and the little bit of yellow, or the way those look, I really like the little bit of yellow. So again, those are coming from the Wildflowers 3 set, or set 3. And I'll just clip off a little bit so I can tuck it in behind. And I just think it adds just a little bit of brightness into those clusters that they really needed. Guys, make sure you look at the still shots and the detail shots, because I did add some small enamel hearts from the Illustrated Faith Basics collection, which is only available at Dayspring. And you should also know about that in the still shots they look yellow, but they're really the bright acidy green, because I decided I wanted some green somewhere, so that worked out really well. All right, so I'm just doing a little bit of an adjustment here to a couple of the pieces. So here's the still shot and a couple of detail shots. Don't forget that if you use the code Kelly10 when you place your order at Cheeky Studio, you'll get 10% off everything in your order except for the kits, but those are on a really smoking sale price of around $19.99, I think. At least they were when I just looked. So hope you guys are all well. I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye.